Las Vegas. Hello everybody, it's Tom here from the Company Code, author, educator and public speaker. Today I'm going to discuss a couple of holidays I had out in Las Vegas and how I really enjoyed my time there. As the King said, viva Las Vegas. I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing, although Elvis was my nickname once. Long story, yeah. I know, can't really boast that anymore. Anyway, I want to discuss today my experience of Las Vegas and why I think it's a really great place to visit. It's a unique place. There's no place like it in the world. I'm going to give you my take on it on my two visits there back in 2008 and then a little bit later in 2010. Okay, so Las Vegas. Well, first time I went out to Las Vegas, I was on what you call a free center holiday. So there was 3 destinations. So Mexico, Cancun, which I mentioned in my previous video that I did last week. There was Vegas, obviously, Nevada, and then there was New York City. Okay, free center holiday. For those of you who aren't familiar, it's 3 destinations in one holiday. So yeah, so we flew out March 2008, springtime, about March, and early spring, decent weather, still cold in certain parts, but anyway. Went over to Mexico first, and then from Mexico made our way over to Las Vegas. My reasons for visiting Las Vegas was my cousin Lisa, that's my mother's niece, so on my mum's side of the family, my cousin was getting married to her partner out there. Now, her sister had already been married 8 years previous, and not to be outdone, she wanted her special day, like anyone does when they get married, of course, and my word, she had it. What a really great experience, for us all, for me as a holiday and for her obviously to get married. So, flew out, landed, went and familiarised ourselves and then caught up with my aunt and uncle, my cousin and her grandparents and her second cousin, so like her mother's cousin basically. So, and yeah, got there, landed, familiarised ourselves with where we were staying. Bear in mind that Vegas is a desert. It gets scorching hot all year round. I mean, this is the only place I know that I've visited where you've got air conditioning units outside. Yeah, you're hearing me right here. Outside there's aircon. You're literally walking under like an underpass and you're getting aircon blowing on you. And it's needed. In the height of summer, it's scorching, and it's dry heat as well. For those of you who've not experienced dry heat, I would liken it to a hairdryer blowing on you constantly. It's quite stifling. So I can only imagine what it'd be like being in the middle of a desert at that sort of level. But anyway, going off topic here. Met up with them, familiarised ourselves with our hotel. We stayed in Circus. Now Circus, I will pass my opinion here. As it was then, I'm sure it's improved since. It was a decent hotel. It was okay. I wouldn't have it as one of the higher starred hotels, particularly not then. I would put it as an average, sort of 3 out of 5 for a hotel. It was adequate for the length of stay. Food was fine. It was clean, but it needed a little bit of modernisation, bit more TLC, to bring it up to a higher standard. Of course, you walk around Vegas, you just get to see the scale of everything. Vegas has this street that's literally got like lots of world monuments that's been built to, like, you've got like the Eiffel Tower, you've got like the Statue of Liberty. It's surreal in that sense. You've got like the world in one place, but it's not the world. And you've got lots of themed hotels. Obviously, they're really big on their shows over there. I mean, really, really big. And yeah, they really, really love that idea of fantasy. I suppose it brings people into the casinos. And I'll have to say, while I'm not a gambler, you can't avoid casinos. Wherever you go, you're going to be going either near one or possibly through one. Bear that in mind, okay? So you can have a go if you want. Just obviously gamble responsibly, because house always wins, usually. That's just how it is. But yeah, we familiarised ourselves with the area, had a little go on some of the machines, and then came the day of the wedding. What a beautiful day. I mean, it was really warm, but not overpoweringly warm. And my cousin got married in the Bellagio. And for the family that could not make it, because not everyone could afford it, it was filmed via video link back to England. And when we got home, she had a party for those who couldn't make it. Like my grandmother couldn't make it, she was well into her 80s, and there's no way she'd have flew that far. But anyway, yeah, went out to see them get hitched, basically, and what a really lovely experience. I mean, it really was just fantastic. And then after we'd finished in the Bellagio and then signed the register, had the photos taken, my sister was bridesmaid, so she was enjoying herself. We then proceeded to move across town, and we ended up in Larry's Bar and Grill. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with your restaurants, this restaurant was rated 3rd best steakhouse in America, and that was at that time. I don't know if it still is, but my word, what a masterclass in culinary delight. I mean, really, the food was delicious. The steak was like that, and you could have cut it with a plastic knife. That's no word of a lie. It was just absolutely delicious. It was such a really great evening, and just so nice to share in their happiness, as well as just like enjoying the sights that we were seeing in Vegas, you know. Really, really wonderful. That was my first experience back in 2008. My second experience come a couple of years later. Me, mother and my father flew out. Again, another free centre holiday. Similar destinations, only this time we did what you call the Golden Triangle, which was Las Vegas, Mexico, and of course Los Angeles. No, not Las Vegas. Yeah, Las Vegas, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. Sorry, those are the 3 places we visited. So first of all, we started in San Francisco, then we moved down to Las Vegas. Las Vegas for the second time. Obviously, you don't see a lot of change in 2 years, but different dynamic this time. Staying in a different hotel. The Luxor, the one that's shaped like a pyramid. That in itself is an unusual experience, because when you go in the lift in the Luxor, it's kind of at a bit of an angle, because it's shaped like the building, the shaft is. So that's disorientating, but interesting. I wouldn't be getting drunk and going up, put it that way. And just again got to sort of know the sites a little bit better this time, and we even got to see a Vegas show. Now, for any of you who like your musicals, I would thoroughly recommend that you go and see a show in Vegas. You can go and see a show in London, England if you want. That's always great. I have had the pleasure a couple of times, but seeing the Phantom of the Opera, you know, at the Venetian was just really lovely. It really was a great thing. And I have to say, the experience is brought to life by what the actors do and how it's all set up. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. Go watch it, go see it if that's your thing. If it's not your thing, go anyway. You may be surprised at how good it is. Okay, so we've got to do that. And of course, as I've alluded to in one of my videos a few months back, we went out into the Grand Canyon. And that really was the highlight for me, because as you know, I'm a big fan of nature. Live kind of out in the wilderness a little bit myself, quite close to Cannock Chase. And flying into the Grand Canyon really sort of did make me understand and realise just how beautiful this planet is, how we really should be looking after it a bit more. and how that wonder of nature has been put here for us to enjoy and not abuse. Obviously, it's owned by Indians, and they have the ruling over who on the management of the place, and we let them look after that as a national park. Okay, respect their rules, enjoy the short time you've got there, take as many photos you want, video footage. It's just fantastic. And flying in a helicopter was a new experience as well. I'm not really keen on flying on airplanes, and I know you must be thinking, now, Tom, you've been on so many holidays. What do you like when you're on an airplane? Pretty nervous, to be honest, but I'm fine when I get there, and I'm fine when I've got off. But being in a helicopter was a new experience in itself, because it's a little bit more cramped, a bit more claustrophobic, and yeah, it can be a little bit different, shall we say. So yeah, really wonderful experience. I went out partying a little bit. This is when I used to do all that sort of thing. I don't really do it now. It sounded a bit boring, but that's life, I guess. I ended up in Coyote Ugly, and just like the film with Leanne Rimes, you know, Can't Fight the Moonlight and all that. Yeah, there were people dancing on the bar. It was crazy. It was great fun though, really great fun. And yeah, I 100% would recommend Las Vegas as a destination. I'll be honest, I don't think it's really a place you'd want to take children. Not really. It's not like you're taking them to the beach. I suppose going into the Grand Canyon may appeal to some of them, but they'd probably be quite bored walking around casinos all the time. Alright, there is children themes, but it isn't really, I'd say, a place for children. Not really. That's just my take. Some of you may disagree, but personally, I wouldn't be taking children there, not of a certain age anyway. Okay. Anyway, that is my second video of the week. Thank you all ever so much for being here as always. Really appreciate your time and your support on my channel. Thank you so very much. Second of 3 videos this week. Put down in the comment section below, is Las Vegas on your bucket list? Is it somewhere you want to visit? Are you convinced by what I've said? Would you like to hear more about it? I can go into a little bit more depth if you want. I don't want my video to be dragging on too long, which is why I've cut it a little bit, okay? Remember to hit that subscribe button down below. Leave me a thumbs up and a like. And let's hear that bell sign go ding dong so you know when my next content's out. But until then, thank you all ever so much for listening. Really appreciate it. I'll be back in a couple of days with my third and final video of the week. Until then, look after yourselves, take care, and bye for now.